What if the rights you take for granted were stripped away, not by a sudden alien invasion or a nuclear blast, but by a slow, suffocating erosion of freedom while you were still paying attention? Imagine waking up in a world where your name is no longer your own, your body is state property, and a single whispered word could cost you your life. This is the chilling, inescapable reality of The Handmaid's Tale, Margaret Atwood's undisputed masterpiece of speculative fiction. Far more than just a dystopian novel, this audiobook is a visceral, psychological descent into a totalitarian nightmare that feels terrifyingly plausible. If you want to experience a story that will permanently alter the way you view power, language, and autonomy, press play and prepare to be utterly consumed. The narrative plunges us into the Republic of Gilead, a fundamentalist regime that has overthrown the United States government. In this bleak, paranoid society, a devastating environmental crisis has caused widespread infertility, leading the ruling class to subjugate the few remaining feral women. These women are stripped of their identities, renamed after the commanders they serve, and forced into the role of handmaids. Our guide through this crimson-draped hell is Offred. Through her eyes, we experience the claustrophobic terror of a life reduced to a single biological function. Atwood's world-building is a masterclass in atmospheric dread. The silence of Gilead is as oppressive as its violence, and the audiobook narration captures every paranoid glance, every held breath, and every racing heartbeat with haunting intimacy. What makes The Handmaid's Tale so profoundly unsettling is its exploration of the human mind under extreme subjugation. Offred survives not through grand action hero rebellions, but through the secret, sacred sanctuary of her own memory. She retreats into her mind, hoarding fragments of the time before, the taste of real coffee, the sound of her daughter's laugh, the simple act of reading a magazine. The contrast between the sterile, blood-soaked present and the vibrant, messy past is heartbreaking. The audiobook format elevates this internal monologue, turning Offred's whispered confessions into a deeply personal dialogue with the listener. You aren't just hearing a story, you are trapped inside her head, feeling the agonizing weight of her isolation and the fierce, quiet defiance of her inner voice. Atwood's genius also lies in her weaponization of language and ritual. The horror of Gilead isn't just in its public executions, it is in the bureaucratic normalization of atrocity. The chillingly named ceremony is a ritualized act of state-sanctioned rape, stripped of passion and reduced to a grotesque, mechanical duty. The regime rewrites the dictionary, banning words and twisting scripture to justify their cruelty. By listening to Offred dissect the etymology of her own oppression, you realize how easily language can be manipulated to control a population. The pacing of the audiobook mirrors this psychological tension, deliberate, heavy, and simmering with a quiet, explosive rage that builds with every chapter. Yet, amidst the suffocating darkness, the story is anchored by micro-rebellions and the desperate, dangerous spark of human connection. A stolen glance with another handmaid, a cryptic message carved into a floorboard, and a forbidden, passionate affair with a guardian named Nick become acts of profound treason. These moments of illicit hope are what makes the narrative so gripping. Offred survives on her ability to navigate a labyrinth of spies, Marthas, and aunts, where trust is a lethal liability. The tension of her double life keeps you on the edge of your seat, wondering if her fragile sanctuary will be shattered at any moment. The climax of The Handmaid's Tale is a masterstroke of ambiguity and suspense. Without spoiling the breathtaking final moments, the ending leaves you with a lingering sense of dread and a profound, lingering question about the nature of history and truth. The inclusion of the historical notes at the end of the audiobook adds a brilliant satirical layer that recontextualizes Offred's entire struggle, forcing the listener to confront the complicity of those who study trauma from a safe distance. The Handmaid's Tale is not just a book. It is a warning, a mirror, and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
Margaret Atwood has crafted a timeless, terrifyingly relevant masterpiece that demands to be heard. It is poetic, brutal, and unforgettable. Put on your headphones, step into the crimson shadows of Gilead, and listen to the voice of a woman who refuses to be erased. Nolisi te bastardes carborundarum.